Where are you right now?
I mean, it's always frustrating. If you're a player, the point of going into a game and playing in a game is to go out there and dominate it. And if you don't do that, you should always be frustrated. So yeah,
So why didn't that happen? Why couldn't you?
I mean, it's pretty hard to dominate a game off of two targets.
Right.
Yeah,
So you didn't get enough opportunities.
nah,
Do you ask for that now, or you?
nah, it's not in my control. Like I don't make those decisions.
You got on an injury for the last couple of days. Is this the healthiest you've been in a while?
I would say I'm pretty healthy. Like, I feel good. Yeah.
That,
What
when
do
you
you know
say
about their pass defense more?
What you say? I'm
What
sorry.
do you know about their pass defense? What do you see when you look at the Bills?
Their pass defense.
Yes. Trey Davis,
Oh, I'm thinking you're talking about their pass defense. Yeah, their pass defense. They're a good defense overall. They're a good team. Better than they've been in the last couple of years. Yeah, Tre'Davious White is a really good corner. He has good feet, good ball skills. So it's gonna be a challenge, yeah, for sure.
And we talked about this a little bit before, but why is the numbers so different on the road and at home field?
I don't know, man. I don't know. If I knew, then I would be able to have a remedy for it, be able to fix it. But I don't really know.
So it's easy to say you're at home. It's gonna be a big game.
If that's the way you want to put it, yeah.
Amari,
Sure,
when
why
you look
not?
at film, how much do they focus, it seems like, on pass defense? And maybe there's something to be grabbed against them and get in the running game.
I don't know. It seemed like a good overall defense. Like I said, they have good players in the secondary, so I'm guessing that's why you're asking that question. But I'm not really worried about their run defense. I obviously do my job in the running game, but I'm going up against a pretty good defense, pretty good players. So I'm just trying to focus on my assignment and do what I have to do to have my best game.
What has the message been this week, given so much of the outside noise coming from your owner about the coaching staff and the need to get a win and the need to turn this season around?
I don't know because I haven't really heard any of it. Yeah.
You haven't heard your owner criticizing your coaching staff?
I have not. No, I haven't been on social media, so that's usually where you get all the news and stuff from. So, no, I haven't.
Players aren't talking about it?
I haven't heard any.
Amari, as you mentioned, you didn't have a lot of targets last week, but what do you tell yourself to keep your mindset that, okay, I'm going to be able to be a big part of the game plan tomorrow if I have that opportunity?
Nothing. I just, it's part of the game to, have a big game and then maybe not have not so big a game. It has its ups and downs throughout the course of the season. So just practice hard, know my assignments, and just go out there and play my best football.
You had games where you haven't had a catch before, or one or two catches. How do you try not to overanalyze what happened going to the next week?
I don't try not to overanalyze it. I just don't. I just don't. Like you said, I've had games in the past where I didn't have a huge explosive game, 10 catches for whatever many yards, and then I'll come back maybe the next game and have a big game. So I know that's how this thing works to an extent. So I'm not really worried about it.
Regardless of whether or not you heard what Jerry said about the coaching staff, with where this team is and where you want to be, how would you rate your sense of urgency going into this game?
I don't know. I would say, there's always a sense of urgency to go out there and perform. I mean, it's a meritocracy for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And we just have to go out there and put our best foot forward. We have to do that every week. It shouldn't come after a loss or whatever your record is or anything like that. That should be the mind state every week.
Amari, on the eve of Thanksgiving, what are you most thankful for?
I'm sorry.
On the eve of Thanksgiving, what are you most thankful for?
My family being here, my family being able to come out and watch me play, and just to be around a whole bunch of people who love you. Yeah,
Nieces and nephews here?
they are. Yep.
Amari,
Sorry.
everyone counts the same in this league, but y'all haven't beat a team with a winning record. What does it take to beat those best teams in the league?
The better teams in the league, they're not going to beat themselves. So you have to go out there, make fewer mistakes than they make. You have to go out there and take it, you know. And we haven't done that. So.
Mark, what's been the mood around the team this week? I apologize for some of that I said earlier, but what's been the mood around these practices, walkthroughs, whatever you want to call it, after last week's game, and where you guys are with it?
What our record shows, we understand where we want to be. We've understood that since April, and so we know what our goals are, and we feel like we know how to get there. And so we've been doing the same stuff because we believe in our system.
I've heard you say before that big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, with it being Thanksgiving Day. How do you take that responsibility going into tomorrow's game?
I mean, yeah, obviously it's a big game. Like I said before, the Bills are a really good team this year. Every game they've been in, it's been really competitive. And so I just want to go out there, like I said before, just put my best foot forward, play my best football, and, you know, let the chips fall where they may after I know that I've given it my all.
Does it upset you that people saying that Gilmore sit you down?
Not really, no, nothing that outsiders say can really affect me. I know there are going to be some weeks where people are saying great things about me. There are going to be some weeks that people are saying not so great things about me. So I just don't listen to any of it.
But in your mind, it had more to do with your lack of targets than necessarily you being shut down by the cornerback.
Man, I don't see Gilmore twice a year. I don't see him every year.
Right.
And so I can't sit here and say, well, Gilmore know he can't shut me down, because he probably feel like he really can. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he can. But
Amari, it seems like White's another cornerback that likes to follow the other team's guy around. What's the, you know, when a guy's shadowing you like that, does it change, I guess, the dynamic in a game, just knowing that it's, you know, going to be, you know, upward of 40, 50 snaps of seeing him? Like, is there a different relationship when you see a guy that many snaps in a game?
yeah, it's definitely different from not seeing the same guy every play, because throughout the course of the game, if no one is following you around, you'll probably see 3 different cornerbacks. You know, you'll be outside on one side, outside on the other, and then you'll be in the slot some, seeing the nickel. And you can kind of use the same techniques on them, because what you use on one corner that will probably work on the other one, because he hasn't seen it. But when a guy's following you around, and usually the guys who follow you around are good, and what makes them good, part of what makes them good is that they're smart. And so when you use like one move on them, probably ain't gonna be able to really use it again. And that's the biggest challenge. You have to beat them in different ways.
Did you go against them in college?
I did, yeah. I played them. We won.
It's been a while.
We won. He actually did a good job. He did a good job. I had a decent game.
What's decent? 150, 200?
No, I didn't have over 100. I think I had like, I don't know, like 70, 80 yards. But he shadowed me, but my biggest play didn't even come on him. So, yeah.
And that was at LSU?
Yeah.
So when you say that when one guy's on you, it's hard to do the same move again because they'll know it, do you prepare differently when you expect to be shadowed by one guy in a game, because you want to make sure you have even more moves, even more change-up options?
I wouldn't say I prepare differently, but I'll have different tools in my box depending on how that corner plays. So once I finish evaluating that guy, watching film on him, and every guy's different. I'll say, wait, I can't do this on him. That probably won't work, but I know I can do this, that, and the other on him based off of how he plays. And those are the tools I'll carry with me for game day.
Witten mentioned a couple of weeks ago that he really views those first couple offensive drives as a way to figure out what the defense is trying to do. Do you look at that with the corners you're matched up on?
Yeah, to an extent. Like there's probably a small difference from watching someone or a defense on film than it is actually playing against them in person. And so when you actually get to the game, you get a chance to fill them out the first couple drives.